were going to meet me in a store today. Well, you were supposed to. But this was one of those days where we went to the store and they didn't allow videotaping. It was kind of a strange store. I won't say where it was because it's not fair to the store. It's a very small store. We're in the middle of nowhere right now. And and so the place was, actually that place was not in the middle of nowhere, but it was kind of in a dingy area and with bars in the windows and everything. And they bought and sold old instruments, used instruments. So I'm not quite sure why the no videotaping. There was just a real strong, no, we don't allow that here. We've never done that. We don't want to be on social media. So it was fine. So we just didn't do it. But that means today I don't have a video of a store because that was the plan for today. So we had to go to plan B. And that is, I thought that I would show you a new scale and a song that goes along with it. Well, there's a lot of songs that go along with it. But it's that old song, Fly Me to the Moon. Do you remember that song? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to go over it, and I'll go slow. And the chords are actually very simple. But what I want to show you is that with a different scale, and you following that scale and placing notes in between chords, you can actually bring the melody out in this song, Fly Me to the Moon. We best know it from 1964 with Frank Sinatra. And I think it's just an awesome song. So let's give that a try. Tomorrow, we're going to start our way into some of the bigger cities. So you'll start seeing again these stores that we plan on going to. One of the places I wanted to go to was Kreutz. This is a store that manufactures stringed instruments. They don't make their guitars here in the United States, but they do make cellos and violins here. And the craftsmanship is absolutely incredible. And so I'm hoping to be able to get into the shop and see that. I think it'll be really interesting. So that's going to be coming up soon, along with a number of stores in Kansas City. So we're going to be going and seeing some of those stores there as well. So with that, could you think of anything else? No, you just shake. I got somebody else here holding the camera. So this is an advantage for me to have somebody to be able to zoom in as we go through this. Okay, so first of all, before we get started, I think it might be good for Fly Me to the Moon just to show you the chords, okay? So let me show you the chords. This is going to be in A minor. And so we'll start out with an A minor chord. And I'm going to simplify it. So it goes from A minor, fly me to D minor seventh, which is, it's kind of like a F chord, except you don't have to, play the whole full F chord. You can just lift your ring finger and play that D minor seventh. And then it goes to a G seventh. You can use this G seventh here. I'll put the chord chart up there, or you could use this one. I like this one for this song. I think it fits better. Okay, and I'll put the chord chart up. And then it goes to C major seventh. That's a C major seventh is a C chord lifting your pointer finger. Okay, so those are the first four chords. Then it goes to F. And then it goes to D minor. And then it goes to E seventh. And back to A minor. And then we're going to go to an A seventh. Okay. D minor seventh, G seventh, C, A minor, D minor seventh, G seventh, C, E. Okay, so let me go through it one more time with the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fly me to the D minor seventh. I'm going to just play it 2 notes at a time here so you can hear it. F, D minor, E seventh, A minor, A seventh, D minor seventh, G seventh, C, A minor, D minor 7th, G 7th, C, and then E. Okay, so those are the chords that we're going to be working with, and as you can see, they're pretty standard chords. So if you don't know those chords, spend some time learning them first, okay, and make sure you get them down. Of course, I'm going to put the chord charts out there for you to help you out with that. Now, here's the other part to it. We have chords, but you got to put some melody in between those chords. For instance, if you play this first part here, so you can see I'm playing notes in between those chords. So the big question is, well, what are the notes? Well, it just so happens those notes follow along a scale. It's an open scale because we're using open strings again. We're in the first position, and it's a C scale. And you say, but aren't we in A minor? Well, yes, we're playing in A minor, but it just so happens that the C scale and A minor share the same notes. So they have different tonal references, or they seem to emphasize different areas, but they do share the same notes. So it works to know that scale for the C scale, which is an open scale in the first position. When I was first learning how to play guitar, I took a few classes using the Melbay book. And if you know anything about Melbay, this is the very first scale that they teach you. It's a C scale. And that scale just happens to house just every note for this song, Fly Me to the Moon. So, okay, that was all the C scale right there that I just played. So if you can learn that scale, then you can easily, and you get used to it, you can hear it out. And so it's a really great scale to learn for many reasons. And that because you can do so many things with it, it's just a lot of fun. So let me show you the scale. So now you've got chords you have to learn, but now I'm going to show you a scale, the dreaded scale, the scales that nobody likes to learn. But yet, if you can get them down and marry those two together, then you can start playing. So that you can start bringing that whole thing together. And it's just knowing those notes and knowing those chords. Okay, so let's go to the next part here. Let's show you the scale. Well, we're going to start here on the high E string. And I'll tell you what, you really have to know the names of the strings of the guitar, okay? So that if you can't say E, A, D, G, B, E, write it down, E, A, D, G, B, E, and sit down and memorize it, because it is really important to know that, because as I'm talking, I'm going to say to you, let's go to the E string. And if you don't know that you've got an E string here and an E string here, it's going to slow you down a little bit. So that's another thing you have to spend some time with. Just a few minutes every day. Don't spend all your time doing these things. Don't spend all your time doing scales. Enjoy playing songs. Learn simple chords and put them together with songs that you love to play, and enjoy that. But in between, every day, spend a little bit working on some of these things like this scale, like memorizing the names of your strings and so on. Okay, so now let's go back to the scale here. So we're going to start on the high E string, or we number strings 1 through 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we'll go to string 1, just like we number our fingers 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you're going to take your ring finger or finger number 3, and you're going to put it on string number 1. So again, that might throw you, but I'm just saying it because it's just things that you should learn. Okay, so here's the high E string open. Okay, we're going to start out by putting our ring finger on the 3rd fret, 1st string. There's your first note of the scale. Then you're going to take your first finger and put it on the first fret of the first string. Okay, then you're going to take and play it open. So that's the first string. It's all done. And so what's good to do is just to sit and do this for a while before you go to the next string and try to get it into your brain. And if you know that this is E here, then you know this is F and this is G, right? Because you know the names of your strings. E, F, G, G, F, E, right? Okay. So it's just, you know, I don't know that you have to memorize every single note. Also, some people say, yes, you do. I don't know. But if you can get the pattern down in your head, it'll go a long ways for you. 3rd fret, 1st fret, open. 3rd fret, 1st fret, open. And then you go to the next string, string number 2, and you do the same thing. 3rd fret, 2nd string, 1st fret, 2nd string, open, 2nd string. So now you have. Now the 3rd string is an easy one because all you have to do is remember one note that you're going to fret. That's the 2nd fret, and then an open string. So there you go. And so spend some time with that. Okay, so we have that part. Now we're going to go to the 4th string. Again, the 3rd fret. Now the 2nd fret. Now you're still on the 4th string, and then open. And then go to the 5th string, 3rd fret, 2nd fret, open. So string 4 and 5 do the same thing. 3rd fret, 2nd fret, open. 3rd fret, 2nd fret, open. Strings 1 and 2 do the same thing. And this 3rd string is on its own. It just does that. And then you have. Okay. And then the 6th string is just like string 1 and 2. Okay. So that is the scale. And it's the C scale because these 2 notes are in, those are the root notes, C. So that scale, if you can get it down, when you come to a song like Fly Me to the Moon, you can find the notes within that scale. So the song now starts out with A minor. And okay, so that was open string, or 1st string, excuse me, that was 2nd string, 1st fret. Okay, so because you played the A minor, is the 1st note, and then open, and then when you come to moon you play a chord again. That's the D minor 7th. Now this one is outside the scale, but I think it sounds the best. It's fret 3, fret 5, fret 8. Whoops. Okay, so start from the beginning. A minor, open, D minor 7. Okay, then you're going to go to G 7th. Okay, you can play it this way. And actually, I don't even play this high E string. I just play strings 4, 3, and 2 with these 3 fingers, and then the thumbs picking up the bass note like that. It just brings the melody in. Okay, but it is supposed to be a G 7th. Okay, so and then you go to the 3rd string, 2nd fret, open, and then you go to the 4th string, and it'll play string 3 or fret 3 and 2. again, these are all within that scale. It's still following this. So let's do it again. So A minor. Then we go to F. There it is again. It's 3, 1, open, and then D minor, then E 7th, A minor, A 7th. Okay, so you can see how that works, but it takes time. You have to learn the chords separate, and you have to learn the scale. And let it become a part of you. And then within that scale, you'll find the notes for this song as we move along. And I'm going okay. And then the last part of it is goes to D minor 7th. In other words, hold my hand. And then it repeats that D minor 7th, G 7th, C, and then E. And then it goes back into it again. And it goes on and on and on. But learning those notes and then putting together with those chords, that will help you learn this song, which is actually not a difficult song. Now, if you have trouble with finger picking and doing that, you can always just take those chords and just strum them and sing along with it. It's okay, but pick up something from it, learn something from it. Learn, if it's just to learn a new song, something you can sing with, and hopefully you have some fun with that. Okay, I'm going to leave that right there. All right, so I'll see you all somewhere down the road. Tomorrow, maybe we'll pick up a new store and bring some new guitars your way, and continue on this road trip here in the United States. We've made it for the first, I think we're day 4 right now is where we're at. It's been an interesting journey. So we continue the journey, and we'll be sharing that with you. And I hope you have a great day or night wherever you are in this world. Okay, we got the video running here.
Notes and Notions was here.
Yep, right here.
And we're going to leave it right here. So anybody can take a look.
On the Colorado River, right?
I don't know if this is called...
It's a tributary if it's not.
Yeah.
All
We're
right.
out of Glenwood Springs.
Yeah. This is gorgeous.